Dylan Mulvaney was on a social media hiatus for the last 3 weeks or so during the whole Bud Light controversy, which has been rehashed to death, and we've stayed away from it intentionally because of that. Like, what else is there to say? Woke company did a woke company thing.
Yes.
Thank you. But now there's something to talk about because Dylan Mulvaney has basically come back to spin the narrative.
Yep.
And it's one of victimhood. So how about we just watch the video first? From his TikTok.
Are we watching this one, or are we watching? Hold on, I'm gonna put it on screen. Are we watching this one?
Yeah,
or are we
yeah.
watching this one first? All right, here we go.
And I'm going to try to leave gender out of this since that's how we found ourselves here. I've been offline for a few weeks, and a lot has been said about me, some of which is so far from my truth that I was like hearing my name and I didn't even know who they were talking about sometimes. It's a very disassociative feeling. And it was so loud that I didn't even feel part of the conversation. So I decided to take the back seat and just let them tucker themselves out.
Get it?
But
Tucker
then I
themselves
remembered
out.
that nearly 13 million people at some point enjoyed me enough to hit the follow button on these apps. And I was like, wait. I want to talk to those people. So hi, long time no talk. How are you? You might want to grab a beverage. This is going to be a longer one.
This is such contrived authenticity.
I'm
We've got
doing
a
okay.
$20 one. Can you pause it real
Yep.
quick? High Voltage 75 said, "Party time, PARTY, because I gotta."
It's a quote from The Mask, which was one of our Crisis Party sound effects at one point.
Continue.
Okay.
And I'm trying this new thing where I don't pressure myself to share anything before I'm ready. And I'm actually sitting with my emotions, not reacting, waiting to respond. And shockingly,
truth.
I can't recommend it more.
Oh, we've got another one from Tony Guevara.
There you go.
Thank you.
Therapy is paying off here, people.
There's a weird obsession in this country with therapy.
And my truth.
In my truth. Which there is no my truth. That's not a thing.
Everyone's going to therapy because they don't have enough friends.
But I do have some...
Well, yeah, you're paying somebody to listen to your problems.
Yeah.
Back in the day, your family would help you with that, or your significant other.
thoughts to share with you. So I've been having crazy deja vu because I'm an adult, I'm 26, and throughout childhood, I was called too feminine and over the top. And here I am now being called all those same things, but this time it's from other adults. And if they're going to accuse me of anything, it should be that I'm a theater person and that I'm camp, but this is just my personality, and it always has been. What I'm struggling with most is that I grew up in a conservative family, and I'm extremely privileged because they still love me very much. And I grew up in the church, and I still have my faith, which I am really trying to hold on to right now. But I've always tried to love everyone, even the people that make it really, really hard. And I think it's okay to be frustrated with someone or confused. But what I'm struggling to understand is the need to dehumanize and to be cruel. I don't think that's right. Dehumanization has never fixed anything in history ever. And, I'm embarrassed to even tell you this, but I was nervous that you were going to start believing those things that they were saying about me. Since
there's something interesting to be said here, because the sad fact of the matter is that the people that like you are still going to like you, and the people that don't like you, it's just going to reaffirm what they already believe. I think one of the things the internet has done is made it very hard for people to actually come to a consensus different than the opposite sides of the aisle they already live on, meaning that very rarely is an argument persuasive in a way that actually changes the mind of another person that doesn't agree with them. You're usually just you're either shouting into the void or you're preaching to the choir, which is people that already agree with
the
you.
problem here is accusing everyone else of dehumanizing you when what you're being called out for is embodying a caricature that is dehumanizing to an entire group of people, which is women.
When I watch this, what springs to my mind is that it's an actor.
I guess. This is very contrived authenticity because you can see this is behind a ring light.
Christ.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
That was Phil, the first part.
Good for you.
Let's not take a fucking minute. Let's go again.
I rewatched this. If you've ever seen this clip, it's from when Christian Bale was in a Terminator movie, and he just blows up at this guy on set, and it makes me laugh because it proves to you how almost unstable they have to be able to have this explosion of emotion, like just yelling at this person for like 10 minutes, and he's like, let's go again, and he just stops and goes right back into character.
Yeah. You're able to like control it.
So I wonder if Dylan Mulvaney could do the same thing. Could Dylan Mulvaney yell for 20 minutes and then suddenly just go back to being Dylan Mulvaney?
We'll find out that he has like an Amy Klobuchar level scandal where we find out that he's like emotionally abusing his employees and eating salad with a comb.
I'm from Minnesota, so I
was the craziest part, that she was eating salad with a comb. What the hell is wrong with you?
I told her this like that one day, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
Insane. Skinwalker. We've got a big super chat from Trucker and Tourist. Wow. Dylan Mulvaney makes my stomach churn when I look at him and hear his voice. It's unsettling and repulsive, like seeing trypophobia pictures. Google that if you don't know what it is. You're welcome. Love all ya. Keep up the fantastic work. I will not be Googling that. I know what you're talking about, and I hate it.
One of the reasons I wanted to cover Dylan Mulvaney on this podcast, more than just, because it's partially cultural. It's not always considered pop culture, but he's an actor. Yeah, an actor, meaning that,
literally,
and now social media, Joe Biden's bringing in influencers and actors to influence the next generation, which is where the whole point, in my eyes, like when this podcast became a thing, was like this is the most dangerous aspect of it, right? Is like you don't have to worry necessarily about what AOC does to your kids, because not everybody's going to care about AOC, but way more actors have way more influence and are able to push these ideas on kids.
Oh, it was the worst thing when Joe Biden got elected in office and invited the K-pop boy group BTS because they have all the followers.
Like, you don't know who BTS is.
I love the idea. No, it's funnier if Biden listens to BTS in his free time.
But that's the thing. They don't, like, most of them don't understand English. So he's sitting there talking to him saying, oh, yeah, you're important to us. It's like, the K-pop boy group has nothing to do with what's happening over in San Francisco right now.
They don't understand English, and neither does Joe Biden.
Yes, he's struggling right now, but he's going to run in 2024. So
yeah.
I want to play the rest of that video because there's a key point.
Okay.
That I wanted to address.
It is so loud. But I'm just going to go ahead and trust that the people who know me and my heart won't listen to that noise. What I'm interested in is getting back to making people laugh and to never stop learning. And going forward, I want to share parts of myself on here that have nothing to do with my identity.
No, you don't. Here's the thing. No, you're not remotely interested in making content that has nothing to do with your identity, because everything you've had so far is about your identity. It's about hormones, and it's about passing, and it's about normalizing the bulge, and it's about, the hiking heels and the dresses and the makeup and the, being Eloise at the plaza. All of it is identity related. So, I think we can all think it's a great thing if you try to an attempt at authenticity online, Dylan. But if you actually do try it, the audience you've courted so far, who is obsessed with your identity more than any conservatives are, they will get bored quickly of your personality. They aren't there for your personality. They are there for your identity. So you will revert back to what you were doing before, is the rage baiting and using it to score brand deals with Nike and all these other mega corporations.
And what you should be most scared of is that those watching who are not politically inclined or don't understand the nefarious nature of this will fall for somebody who can pull off that type of acting. That, if you're not aware of what's going on, that comes off as 110% sincere.
That is a scheduled post from a social media manager.
Exactly.
Yeah. They told you this is the right date algorithmically to come back to TikTok.
And his ability to act and fake it is what should scare you.
Yeah.
To be able to fake authenticity. This is why I had a problem with Dylan Mulvaney and Drew Barrymore sitting on a couch. Like, I was like, there's like lights shining down on them. There's hundreds of people behind them, and they're feigning human interaction in something that should feel like an extremely intimate moment. Yeah. Thank you. Somebody pointed out, why is the first swear word blocked out, but the second one is not? Oh, good for you.
No, don't shut me up. Let's not take a fucking minute. Let's go again.
Let's go.
I also have some respect for him because he did all his cussing in his English accent and not his. In his
Go
I'm sorry,
again.
no, he did it in his American accent, not his English accent. So good for him. But I'm saying, like, it's very easy for people who aren't politically inclined to fall for this stuff because they don't realize what they're watching is acting in the real world. It's just actors. It's just the same premise. It's just being done in mediums that have blurred the lines between reality and fiction.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
And now, remember when we talked about Pokimane saying that cyberbullying should be a crime?
Yes.
And that people should go to jail for doing it to her?
Yep.
Similarly, Dylan Mulvaney has now announced that it should be illegal to misgender somebody. And that it's just bad journalism. So let's watch that clip from Twitter. Ollie London posted it.
Like the articles written about me using he pronouns and calling me a man over and over again. And I feel like that should be illegal. I don't know. That's just bad journalism. Like
I love that.
The
That's
soft
standard.
tyranny, though.
Yes.
Like, literally thinks that you should be imprisoned for that.
Yep. In the chat, Convincing Reality says acting in the real world, also more commonly known as lying. That's true, but there's a distinction to be made here because it's not just the real world. It's not really the real world. It's social media, which is not the real world. It's just not through the same lens where there's a distinction between fact and fiction, meaning that when you watch a movie, you know that what you're watching is a script, it's written, it's made, it's released. With social media, there's just as much of a facade behind many of these influencers as there is any script in any movie. Like you said, scheduled posts, bullet points about what needs to be talked about. What I mentioned in an episode recently says the best and most influential social media influencers are the ones who can feign authenticity while in most cases being extremely fake.
Yeah.
Like they are able to feign it and fake it because the medium allows it to look more real because you clicked on it and you didn't go pay for a movie or you didn't turn it on Netflix. It doesn't make it any more real than any of those. It's just as fake.
I find it incredibly rich that Dylan just expects the media to back him.
Yeah.
When 99% of the media and corporations have been backing him and paying thousands of dollars to
and
do
then
so.
Also playing the victim at the same time.
And playing the victim at the same time. Good journalism is only when the media supports me unequivocally. Is that it?
That's what it is.
And all the bad journalism is just anyone who doesn't like me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people see it that way now because both sides tend to see it as something that's what they believe, wherever they get their information from, that's accurate, and everything coming from the other side is fake.
Yeah.
And I think both sides are guilty of that.
And this is regardless of identity stuff. Mainstream celebrities do this shit all the time where they expect the media to be on their side.
Which it didn't used to be like that.
It was never like that before in
No.
tabloid culture.
Tabloid culture, the media was seen as the adversary because they were the ones looking to get shots of celebrities in compromising positions. Do you see a lot of that living in California?
Not so much.
That's just different area.
I've been down to the Hollywood area, Beverly Hills area, and it's you'll see them out and about, but it's for the most part, nobody's really trying to get in their faces. They're being polite.
How do locals treat celebrities out there? Is it like that? Do they treat them in a more polite manner?
I've had a couple of them where I've worked at a place that celebrities kind of they frequent that area, and they've actually been pretty nice. A couple of them don't want to be bothered or whatever, but most of them would just sit there and have regular conversations with you and just treat you like a person. They're pretty down to earth, I guess.
I mean, I don't even get mad at somebody not wanting to be left alone. I get that. Most of the time, it's if someone's going to interrupt them while they're in the middle of doing something, it's look, I just don't have the time for this these days. And I think we live in a culture now that's getting dangerously more obsessed with celebrities, and I think there's a lot of celebrity worship, especially on Twitter and on social media, that people have raised these people to be like gods, and
Would
they're
there
not.
be anybody you're starstruck to meet?
There's been sports stars. I was a big Boston Celtics fan, and I saw Paul Pierce walking through a mall, and it's I saw him. I was I wanted to say what's up, but he's there with his kid, so I was I'm not gonna be that guy that he's like, yeah, it's my that interaction's gonna be bad if I try to talk to him. So it's like, it is what it is. Like, but I have seen a buddy that wanted to say hi to the rapper of the game, and it went really, really bad. And I was like, yeah, he's not. Doesn't.
How'd it go bad? What happened?
Because he just kind of like punked him. Like he was like, it's like, oh, what's up? I'm a big fan. He was like, yeah, get away from me or whatever. And it's like, okay, but it's like, but you don't like you expect like Keanu Reeves to be nice to you. You expect like Tom Hanks to have a good interaction. The game made his career as being like a gangster rapper.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to go.
It's not part of his brand to be like, oh hi, thanks for your support. Like, you know what you're getting.
Oh, you bought my album. Thank goodness.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
Now that I think about it, I said that there's nobody that I would see that way. I would probably be that way if I met Ken Griffey Jr.
Wait, be what way?
Like we were talking earlier off air about about being starstruck around celebrities, and I said I said I'm too self-centered to be.
No, that's me around Alex Jones.
For me, it would be Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
I would be starstruck around Ken Griffey Jr. because I grew up idolizing him. So that's
around Alex Jones. I'm like, hi there.
We had very different childhoods, Mary.
Can I get a picture?
Oh yeah, and you got your picture.
And
with
I got
him.
my
You got
picture.
your
Awesome.
picture
Twice.
with him. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Then I want to ask you this. Do you think that this is going to be one of these things that celebrities in the future, like we're going to move away from a culture? Like we said, this whole thing came up because Dylan Mulvaney got like a multi-million-dollar contract with the beer company. I think the future will see less regular celebrities getting these types of brand deals, and it will become more about influencers becoming spokespeople for these companies.
They cost less.
Not just cost less, but farther reach, cost less, and they're interchangeable, meaning that our culture now moves progressively faster. Like we're in trends, out of trends, and over things very, very quickly. So less big name celebrities that might have a longer shelf life, but you can pay a newer influencer less and just swap them out whenever the next big thing comes in.
I kind of think it's just going to be like a smarter way of integrating ads into what they're doing. Like if you see the Fast and Furious movie, he's always drinking a Corona beer, but it's like a little bit too on the nose. They'll just get smarter at being able to integrate it in the background.
My favorite is product placement. It's like they're awkwardly holding the bottle so that the camera can see it. I was just watching an episode of a show called The Glades. It's from like 2011 on A&E, and there's this weird, it makes no sense, like this character is eating like a bag of Reese's Pieces and he's like holding it like this facing the camera, and it's the most awkward look. Like it's very clearly like the guy's like, okay, and you have to the camera's gonna be framed here, so you need to hold it about chest level. So he's like, he seals the bag, he doesn't set it down, he just sits there with both hands on it, holding it like this.
I like when it's on the nose.
It's super on the nose.
Yeah.
But I think that social media influencers will allow them to integrate more naturally into it, and then the world's gonna get even worse. You're gonna be watching some video of some shock video online where a guy gets hit, and it's going to be an advertisement for some company because he's wearing their gloves.
Well, like that's the low IQ content now. I think you might have noticed that like TikTok content, that's lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Somehow YouTube Shorts is even worse than that. It's like non-verbal communication and globalized communication.
Yeah.
Well, all the TikTok content is really trying to hone in on the idea that they need to get you past the first 5 seconds. Like YouTube content is like, click the thumbnail. TikTok is like, hide their face for 5 seconds or hide what's actually going to happen for a little bit. And it's just like very, like you said, lowest common denominator. But it's not actually about delivering on anything. It's just, can I get you to watch the first 5?
Dude, they're going to go film like prank videos at bus stops, like at like bus benches, and they're going to put their own ads over the bus bench and then like just take it down when they're done.
It's like
the smart person would do that at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean that would be it's like you don't leave it up there. You just take it down when you're done. You know that I had like in Minnesota we have this all the bus benches are like realtors, right? And we have this one who looks just like Cenk Uygur, and a guy would draw a mustache on all of them and write "F-U Cenk Uygur" on all of the benches.
Just because he looks like
because he hates Cenk Uygur. This guy, it's not Cenk Uygur. It's just this guy looks like him. So this some dude I lived by went out of his way to like mark up 3 benches, and I would just giggle every time I would see it. It would make me laugh. But you're going to film videos and you're going to be able to start integrating products more naturally. naturally into stuff like that. And now it's even more common with like college athletes. They're not, you can't make money as a college athlete in the sport, but you get NIL deals, name, image, likeness deals, where you're allowed to make money off of, your brand. You become your own brand. Yeah. And a lot of these college athletes start making these Instagram ads or these, ads for these companies, and they're making good money doing stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So like that's the world's going to become one big ad.
Yeah.
Really, in a lot of ways. And Dylan Mulvaney might be the worst example of that, meaning that Dylan Mulvaney is selling his their identity as a product, right? Yeah. It's a product that makes him money, and everybody else has to be along for the ride. And to feign as if you're going to try to make content elsewhere, not around your identity, is ridiculous.
If Dylan Mulvaney makes a political, non-identity related content, I will be shocked. But that is not in the future.
But maybe they think they've made it already. I had to do all the most extreme version of myself to make all this popularity, get these brand deals. But now that I'm sitting pretty, now I can do what I was going to do initially, like go on The Price is Right and dance and be
go on The Price is Right.
Well, when you really think about it, like now, Dylan Mulvaney could go back to Broadway and be a huge draw.
So true.
Like left Broadway because didn't succeed, could go back to Broadway and make a ton of money.
Well, it'd be a huge draw for that community. Yeah,
huge draw. Like so, in the sense, they won.
Oh, yeah, they did. It's already said and done. They've already won.
The algorithm has decided for us, and we're not allowed to have a say in the matter now, and that's really, really terrifying to me. Because we're gonna be going, like, imagine this: we're gonna go visit New York, and you're gonna be driving down and it's like tonight, Wicked starring Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah,
Dylan Mulvaney will be bigger than the word Wicked on the poster.
Yes, that'd be like, oh man, we have just degraded as a culture. It's awful. Also, it also should speak to just how terrifying it is that people believe that this image of them saying, like, we should make misgendering someone illegal. There's going to be a ton of people that are like, they should do that.
There's certain countries that are like that already, right? Like, isn't Jordan Peterson getting in trouble for that?
Being rude online is essentially
in the UK,
illegal.
Yeah.
In a lot of places. Yeah.
Like in the UK, you can get in trouble you can get arrested for arguing with people on Facebook and misgendering
in
people.
Singapore, I know that there was like a YouTuber who talked about, he was critical of religion and like Christianity and Islam, and was got in trouble for just that online activity.
Yeah.
Being disrespectful to religions.
Mary's like, score. Mary's like, yes, arrest him for it.
No.
Yes. All right.
Not good.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.